Welcome to Determined to Succeed. I'm your host, Dawn, also known as the Unique Connector. So I'm so excited to have a unique guest here on the show today because it's the end of the school year. Summer is coming to a start. School is closing. So, kind of the end of a finish line for a season and a start of a season sometimes for people. And so, you've kind of had a unique background journey where you used to be a teacher, and so finish line, end of summer, the end of the school year to start summer, that was a big deal. Things
Yeah.
would transition. It would be a new season. And so now you've kind of switched gears a little bit. And so let's kind of even talk about finish and start lines for you. Like what's showing up when I say that because of your unique background and journey you've had?
It's so it becomes ingrained in you. First of all, you spend the first, what, 18 years of your life in school, right? So it's like summer vacation shows up and it's this thing that the years feel different to you. It's not necessarily the calendar year, right? It's like your year is September to June, and then you have this off season and then you're back. So I did that for a very long time. And then, of course, I was a teacher and I did that for 13 years. So that was a lot of years of my life coming to a close in June and restarting in September and having this sort of block in the middle of free time.
Mm,
And at some point, though, I realized that the job wasn't right for me. By the way, teachers are amazing. They do amazing things. If you have a teacher that you really appreciate, go buy them something amazing. But it was not
yes.
a good fit for me. And so I chose to leave that career. And I started all over by going to art school. And I got really into commercial photography and graphic design, which has nothing to do with teaching, but it that is something that really filled my soul, was being able to make creative pieces and have them work in a marketing, advertising, business development sphere. That felt filled my cup. So I loved doing that. But I started doing that during a major economic downturn. So it was a very odd choice to leave a stable, like recession proof job for something that was not recession proof. And that was fine. That was a new starting line, was doing this whole thing all over again. And I loved that. And I soaked up as much information. I kind of became the student after being a teacher for so long. And it was beautiful. And of course, COVID changed the rules all over again for anyone who was working in a creative field. It just threw a wrench into everything. But you just roll with the punches and you figure it out. And now I love that. While my job in marketing, I live on Cape Cod, which is a seasonal thing. For us, summer is a big deal because that's when everything's happening. It's like we come alive in June and July and August, and all of the world comes and visits us right here on the Cape. So my clients are way too busy to work with me. So even though I got out of teaching, my life is still very much June's the finish line.
Mhm.
Summer is this own separate thing. And then in September, when a lot of our visitors go back to where they came from, our businesses get back to normal behavior, and it's still that September to June life, which is so funny that it just made sense for me to find a space there here on the Cape. And then I decided I needed something for the summer. So I found the world's coolest summer job. So right now, my typical work is definitely coming to a slowdown because it's June and it's time for the summer folks to get going here on the Cape. So my clients don't have time for me. So now I get to work for a magazine that is only open and running during the summer. It is a Cape Cod based magazine. It talks about the art and LGBT friendly tourism that happens on the outer Cape of Cape Cod. And it is a fun magazine to work for. And I get to do it all summer long. I get to hear about all these amazing theater programs and art exhibits and stuff that are happening. And I get the info like a week before.
Mm.
And I get to help make this magazine happen. And it's just beautiful. So
Oh,
that's my start line, finish line, and starting line seasonal shift right now. But I still get to play with pixels, as I say. It's
yeah.
still creative and it's still super fun. And I still get to occasionally be either the student or the teacher, depending on the role I'm in. And I love it.
Yeah. Well, I would say I love that you've pivoted and you've embraced things. And two, I think switching roles sometimes help give us new perspectives where, you said how you went from teacher to student. And, now too, you're kind of back to that teacher mode because I know also too, besides the magazine and your client work, you're also mentoring other
Yes.
people.
So at the magazine, I'm still very much a student. I had never done any sort of publication like that. So I'm still learning a lot while I'm there. So that's my student role for now. But yeah, I get to mentor this amazing program called E for All, E standing for entrepreneurship. And I went through this program myself about 5 years ago now. And it teaches folks who are starting a business or they're starting a nonprofit how to really, it's kind of like business boot camp. You get this business accelerator where you get to hang out with a cohort of people who are in the same, not necessarily the same industry as you, but the same space. They are all trying to launch businesses or organizations. And this program helps you learn the business basics. Um, and I went through it and I loved it. And that was a definite important student role for me because I knew how to be a graphic designer. I knew how to be a photographer. I didn't really know how to properly be a freelance, self-employed, taxes and dollars and figuring out all
Mm.
that stuff. And I didn't know how, I knew how to market other people. I had no idea how to market myself. So there was all those sorts of pieces to the puzzle I needed. And I loved this program for that. And now I volunteer with that program. So now I get to turn that around and be a mentor to other folks who are also trying to launch a new business. And if you are out there looking to launch a new business, I recommend you check out eforall.org because they are amazing and they are slowly making their way throughout the whole country.
Wow. Well, and I love it too. And I hope you're embracing this moment of mentoring other people and taking it into of like recognizing the little moments and the hurdles that you've been over that you've been celebrating also too. Because I think sometimes we do all these things and you hope that it's working in the entrepreneur world or and you're trying new things and you're navigating it on your own. And so I think too sometimes when we are in the teacher mode and mentoring other people, then we almost have that moment of self-reflection and recognize like, holy cow, look at the stuff I've done. Look at all the changes, all the things that I've embraced.
That does feel good when I can explain something to one of my mentees that I know was challenging for me when I was in their space. I know I will suddenly walk away and go, I just explained a spreadsheet about profit and loss. Like, and I will tell you that 5 years ago, I didn't even know what a spreadsheet for profit and loss should even look like. And here I am breaking it down for someone else. Yeah, that is a fun moment. And I am a little proud of myself. And those moments do show up.
Yeah. Well, and two to also, I hope the listeners are recognizing too, is we don't always have to do this exact way of doing it too when it comes to the entrepreneur world. I love that you're embracing the season of when your clients are busy. Why not do something too at the same time and learn and grow? And you're adding more tools to your toolbox for your clients in the future too, of
Absolutely.
working in magazine for these set months. Like, I think that's a part of entrepreneur world, the flexibility and trying new things. And it doesn't mean you have to do it this cookie cutter way of only taking on certain clients. Like, you can go work for somebody for a couple months too.
Life is boring when you do it the same all the time. I'm all about the spice of life and the variety of things. As
Mm,
long as it's bringing you joy and it's helping your own bank account
yeah.
and it's not hurting anybody, then there are no rules. I think that's one of the cornerstones of entrepreneurship is that we're rule breakers. We tend to do it our own way. And sometimes that's simply out of sheer stubbornness, but it's innovative, right? So if you can just follow your own path, I think it's a more fun and adventurous life. I want to get to the end of life going, yeah, that was a hell of a ride. Like, not I did
Mhm.
all the things I was supposed to do. That's boring. I want
Yeah.
along the way.
Well, I love that. And see, and that's where I think you and I just instantly had this connection. I'm so glad we met. And this is where even too for you, like someone maybe that's, let's just say in your previous role as a teacher, and they're like, gosh, I know there's more to me. And maybe this isn't like, maybe I can teach, but in a different way. I don't have to be in the exact teacher role. Like, what are something that maybe you would say to these listeners that are maybe in this spot of doubt or wondering, what should I do next? Or where should I be going? What would you say, even maybe to your younger self or just someone that's listening right now?
So I think that the rule of tasting things first before you order them can be
Ooh,
applied to your career. So if when you're planning a big event and you go to the caterer and they give you little tasters, like see what things you want to try to have, you don't order the full catered meal before having a little taste. So if you're contemplating a career, but you're not 100% sure, there has got to be a way to taste it first. So
mm,
if you're thinking about being a teacher, sign up to be a substitute teacher in the district you want to work in. There's always a need for substitutes, my goodness. But that's a great way for you to sort of test it out, to have a little taste test, see if that actually works for you. And there's lots of different careers where you could be an intern, sometimes even a paid intern. We're getting better about that as a culture. And you could be
yeah.
trying these things. And also know that industries versus companies aren't always the same. So you may think, oh, I hate this career path, but actually you're just not in the right space for that career path.
Mm,
So try it around. The old way of thinking was you got a job the moment you were done with college. You worked that job until you retired, and that was the right way to do it. And that's just not true anymore. It's okay to switch jobs. It's okay to switch careers. It's okay to start over. And it's okay to try it out for a minute before you make a commitment.
ooh, you had such words of wisdom right there. And I would say, even, when you're saying about the substitute teacher, it's so interesting that you said that because I've been recently speaking at colleges. Okay, like, well, they want my words of wisdom to come, but
Love
also
it.
too to talk about networking and whatnot. And to be honest, teaching was never in my, vision or future because my sister's a teacher. So, that was her like magic and she's really good at it and that's what she's always done. But it's been so weird because it's like I had a certain lens or a view of what a teacher is because of her or even some other family or friend members that are teaching. And so now I've been coming from a different lens because I've been speaking at colleges and I'm like, huh, maybe it could be, maybe this is something for me. And I've never really looked at it that way. And I love how you're talking about the taste testing because a friend actually told me the other day, why don't you just be a substitute teacher sometimes? And I was like, that's funny you say that because I've randomly thought of that, but I think that's the part too. And the beauty of life is try it. Who cares? If you like it, cool. If you don't, you don't. You tried it. And I think that's the part that I've been trying to embrace because of how you said earlier, too, of out of college, you get a job and this is what you're going to do and embrace it and keep moving up the ladder and keep going. And for me, it's been a whole new lens with this world of trying things. What do I like? What brings me joy?
Life should be a kaleidoscope.
Ooh, I
Look
like that. That's so true.
at it all from
Oh,
different angles all the time.
yeah.
Fun. Spin the little wheel and see what happens.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. And I was to say, even for you coming, into this industry, do you feel like you kind of have a kaleidoscope lens even for your clients? What are some things that you think or that, you're making them think differently when it comes to their business for photography, graphic design, all those kind of things? Tell me more.
So a lot of folks, when they first come to me, it's because they need one of two things. And it's the things everyone's heard of. Like everyone knows you need an updated headshot.
Hmm.
So that's the first conversation. Or people will be like, I am starting a new business and I need a logo. And so those are the two things that everyone knows what those are. They're like the stepping stones into any business is like the business owner needs a headshot or any sort of sales representative or marketing anyone who's doing something and is putting themselves out there in a professional space. You need an updated headshot and you might need a logo, right? So those are usually people come to me and they're like, that's all I need. That's usually what they say.
Yeah.
And I don't like to argue with folks, but I do like to educate them, right? So I'll say, all right, I can absolutely provide those services. And that could be all that we do together. But let's just have a conversation. Like, where is this headshot going to live? Is it just your LinkedIn profile or is there more to it than that? And usually when you get people talking and they get a little more comfortable, a lot of people don't like going to the photographer. So my first job is just to get them cozy.
Mm.
And so I say things like, all right, but if you're a chef, why would I take a picture of you in a three-piece suit in front of a gray wall? what is that going to tell anyone about what you do or what you love to do? Could I maybe take a photo of you in your with your chef's hat in your kitchen? Like,
Mm.
so it tells a story. So I get people sort of thinking about images beyond just the headshot. Because really, you could line up 30 headshots and they'd all look exactly the same. You're wearing a suit in front of a gray or a white or a dark blue background, and everyone looks the same. And life is not a cookie cutter, right? So
Yeah.
I try to get people to think about how can we tell your story through your picture. What can we do?
Mm.
Um, so that's one thing. And then with logo, I like to tell people, like, because they'll be like, this is what my business does. So I have these 3 services. So I need all 3 of these things in my logo. And I go, well, so McDonald's has a lot on their menu, but their logo is a golden M. They don't have a burger in their logo. They don't have French fries in their logo. They don't have milkshakes in their logo. They don't have chicken nuggets or whatever else you can get. So actually what you're thinking of is your menu. You need, you might need a brochure or a menu or something along those lines, listing all your services. Absolutely, you do need that, but that's not your logo. And your logo is not your whole brand. So that's another piece where I get to still educate and sort
Mm-hmm.
of talk to people about the whole package and all the things they may need, and you may not need those things today, but you're probably going to need those things within the next year.
Yeah.
I just sort of plant those seeds for folks. So like, we can do just these 2 things. That's what you want. You're in charge. You're the boss. Absolutely. But I challenge you to think about it a little differently. Be open to the fact you might need more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could develop something together that'll make you happy, but also serve your business well. Because if all you have is a headshot and a logo, you're probably not going to get very far into marketing. And marketing and advertising is a big part of what makes your business successful. So
Yeah.
those are the
Well,
kinds of moments I like to have with my clients.
yeah. Well, and I think that's the part too, is it's like kind of some people think checking off the box and investing in certain
Oh, sure.
things or getting that program, it's going to get me the sales, or I did a post on it, it's going to bring me the people, and I think that's the part and the beauty of business too, is like learning and evolving and being able to showcase yourself or storytell. Even me sometimes too, I need some work on that stuff. I think that's the part too, is like we all can take baby steps, and kind of back to too, even like you were saying about trying things, but like sometimes you have to nugget size things in your business to eventually get to where you really want to be, or
Oh, absolutely.
trying new things, you know?
And it's just like going through a maze, right? Some paths go to a dead end,
Yeah.
but eventually you keep working the maze, you get to the center, right? So I think business is a lot like that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like you, the teaching. You added a ton of tools into your toolbox when you came into teaching, going back to school and learning more things and putting more tools in your toolbox. And that's where I think too is like even this new summer of the new season and adding magazine stuff into your toolbox. I think that's the part too, is we just need to keep thinking of, we don't always have to take more tests or get more certifications, but how can we have these experiences to keep adding more knowledge or new perspectives or things that we can use with our clients in the future? And that's the part, sometimes we all get in our head of adding more things on, but this is what life is, isn't it? Is keep learning and growing and pivoting and changing and riding the journey that it's going to keep bringing us.
And it can be a joyful thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's not, oh, I need to get this certification. Oh, I need to take this class. It can be like, I get to do this thing. And in the process, I'll learn this other tool. I think it's important to have a, a joyful way of getting to where you're going.
Or meeting new people too.
What's
Cause I think,
exactly? Oh, networking should totally be fun.
yeah. Well, because I'm just thinking out loud for you too, of like this magazine, and now you're going to get to know all about the ins and outs of the town too, of how that can even help your clients. Of, hey, this is the stuff that I was seeing during the summer. You know,
Oh,
heads up on this. I think that's the part too of having that market research and being aware of stuff that's going on, and it also helps motivate you and energize you. So I'm really proud of you for pivoting and changing and evolving. And I'm excited to keep seeing you shine brighter and having new finish lines and new start lines, and to think differently about that.
year is a circle, not a line.
Mm, I love it. Well, keep shining bright and so glad you joined me on the show today. And I would say, listeners, reach out to her, follow her, whatnot, and keep shining bright. So, wishing you all a happy day. And listeners, spread this joy if you found this helpful or inspiring. That's what it's all about. Is I'm going to keep bringing on amazing guests. So, thank you very much, my dear.
Thank you for having me.